Let's go to politics.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome topic.
Let's try to make sense of what is happening. May nag-file complaint yesterday against former Congressman Albee Benitez, questioning his residency. And then, of course, there's a lot of people, they say, clamoring for change. Offhand na nung paglantaw nimo.
Actually, I did not know it. May nag-file.
Yesterday.
But Vice Mayor Elisir, sa amon nga messenger, nagpadala sa akon message sa gabi. So I asked him, sino ang nag-file sa petition? Sila niya, way makukabalo. So until now, wala pa ko kabalo kung sino ang nag-file. And
Sir,
why.
names ng ara eh.
So I cannot speculate kung anong rason niya. Pero sino ang nag-file? Honestly, I really do not know.
Abaw and Yula.
Abaw?
Yeah. What I know is mga residents ng Mandalagan.
Mandalagan, okay. So he must have a reason. Because it seems, so the information relayed to me, nga Albee is now registered voter as a resident of Barangay Mandalagan. So a Mandalagan resident may have his own rationality why he filed that petition. Let him support it kaysa ang nag-file.
Pero some people might ask, how important is residence? Duwa na ka-concept, no? Residency and domicile. Ang gawalantaw, ang nga importante ina?
You know, ang residence in its loose terminology can be as many as you can have it. You can be a resident of America, a resident of the Philippines, you can be a resident of Manila, you can be a resident of Kabangkalan, Bacolod, at the same time, loose technical term. However, when it comes to political residence, it becomes strict. And the political residence somehow can be synonymous to a domicile to a certain extent. That's why ginhimo na ang principle so that hindi maabusuhan ang pamulitika sa isa ka kultura o kon locality nga basta lang maagaw sang iban just because may mga advantages sila in terms of money, in terms of any other thing. No? And it happened several times over ba? May galing ato yati petisyonan gito ya when after the filing of certificate of candidacy niyan di man niya certificate of candidacy residency lang niya for purposes of transferring registration, but then you should also qualify your intention to transfer your registration as a voter. If you claim to be a resident of that area, then you should prove that you are a resident of the area. And remember, because ang imo na ibutangan ng mga dokumento is supposed to be sacred. Diba? Dapat under oath na siya. So if your entries are false and therefore falsified, that could ripen to some charges of falsification. So kinanglan stricto ginman kita. Kay, especially when we talk about political exercises, sometimes kulang na tas ang sense of right conviction eh. Basta politika ang hambalan, to puro na lang tanan kwarta, puro na lang tanan influence, puro na lang tanan convenience. Adula na nga itong prinsipyo sa politika. So look what is happening to this country. Di ba?
Interesting.
So kinanglan tani, we should be strict in our sense of principles in terms of our governance.
In terms of running as a candidate for, let's say, mayor, ang kinanglan mo is not residence, but domicile.
Yeah, your political residence. We call that a political residence, which is not necessarily domicile in its strict legal term and parameters. Pero ang political residence is a stricter one. There has to be some intention to ara agidaya, no? May intention to reside, to stay there permanently, and to return there kung diin ka man makadto. And you will have to satisfy that, not just simply nga nagkadto ka lang sa nang lugar, you become a political resident already for purposes of qualifying your candidacy.
And ang
That may
minimum
not
requirement,
suffice, and that can be tested.
ang minimum requirement is
Well, ang minimum requirements nila that when you transfer for purposes of filing certificate of candidacy is 1 year.
1 year.
But may mga underlying requisites na for purposes of proving that you are genuine, authentic, registered voter, and political resident for purposes of running.
Anyhow, this will be decided upon by the COMELEC pa naman.
Depende na sa ila yan. Di subong niya kung registration man lang ara sa ARB. That is a summary procedure. In few days time, maridesisyon na sa ARB. Whatever happens there, it can be appealed COMELEC above or what. Then later on, kung may exclusion, korte. Then later on naman, kung i-petition mo ang nag-file sang certificate of candidacy to disqualify him, maybe it's a petition for quorant or what, then that will be another issue. Lain naman na nga kategory, kag level.
So, damo pagali pwede agyan ni.
Yes.
But a lot of
Pero
people
i-file mo
are,
na, sa COMELEC.
a lot of people are getting excited na about the supposed battle royale.
Galing. Okay.
Diba?
Another battle royale.
Another battle royale.
Oh.
I would like to ask you this because you are one of the more seasoned legislators naton. You've been a councilor for several pila ka terms na so far.
Yeah, my first 3 terms were 10 years in all. Sa beginning 1988, came man under the Constitution of after Cory Aquino. Ang first term sa to 4 years. Then all the rest 3 years. So kami nangin recipient, nangin beneficiaries ang first term ng 4 years. Kay ang maximum is 3 consecutive terms. So, 3 consecutive terms ko, naging 10 years. Then, after that, in 2004, my heaven's graces, I became vice mayor for 3 years. Wala na ako makasigi vice mayor, kaya I ran for Congress then. Then, in 2016, I returned as councilor until now. So, mga, let me see, 13,
9.
mga 18 years na.
18 years. Oh. And you've seen the waxing and waning of a lot of political fortunes actually. Damo sa mga politiko sa unang dagko, subong hindi na.
Oo.
Ano ang first battle royale nga nadumduman mo?
Ang sa tunga ni Tio Roming kag ni Junior Montelibano.
Oo. Ga-short pants pa ko to.
Yes.
Ako.
Ay maybe the next battle royale nga matawag naton sa tunga ni Bing kag ni Nyox.
Ay, okay.
Di ba? Oo. And maybe, kung magdalagan gid man si Albee, mayor, wala man ta kabalo, anong dalaganan niya kung magdalagan gid man siya, this could be another battle royale.
You do not come from a landed family. Ikaw, hindi iya asyendado imo pamilya.
Well, agsugod ng panimal ang ako mga ginikanan, pamigado gid man.
Oo.
Pero sa kapisan ni Papa kag ni Mama, naka tipon gid man sila kadutaan until they had their own hacienda. And you know, we had a ranch in Candoni before, 1,600 hectares na,
Wow.
a ranch.
Lapad ba?
People don't know that. Ang galing, may mga cattle to mga more than 100 horses and mga baka, karabaw.
I can imagine you
But
riding
that
a
was
horse.
Too long time ago. I was not yet a lawyer then.
I ask you that, Councilor, because if I remember right, when you say sa una battle royale in Bacolod City, it was mostly between an haciendado and an haciendado. So, puro landed families. Until, of course, nag-abot ng mga middle class politicians. Dala na ikaw, in a way, Mayor Bing, Joy Valdez. Pero, subong, it's another battle royale. Pero, what would make it a battle royale?
I don't know. I have not called it a battle royale. I just heard it from people calling it a battle royale.
Yes.
It will be a battle, but I don't know how they qualify a thing called battle royale. There must be some qualifying standards for that terminology. To my mind, I cannot yet accede. Ganda mo na siguro ang panawag natin.
Nga.
Siguro, I don't know yet. I'm not sure yet. But definitely, hindi na, basta dalagan ka mayor, hindi na lahog-lahog. Kung sino man actually ang makontra mo as mayor, hindi mo na ipag-take for granted, whether it is a moneyed component or not. May kontra ka eh. May kontra ka. So the possibility of losing and winning, ara na da, pirmi. So you should never take that for granted.
Kung Bacolod ang paghahambalan, ang iba nagasiling, okay, we still don't have that strong middle-class voters who would not be swayed by vote buying.
I have not conducted an empirical research on this.
Yeah.
I have not interviewed every middle-class man or woman in the city. Although I have heard several middle-class men averse sa sinang idea of vote buying, I have heard also several middle-class men
I agree.
who capitulated to that vice.
Actually, at a higher price. At a higher price.
At a higher price. And such evil and viciousness in our politics somehow.
Ang batik ko yung ginadulong pagani mo. Door to door.
Ang ibang reklamo pa. Kulang ni. So, feeling nila everybody is a price.
Yes.
Maybe that's the result of our own wretchedness.
But don't you
as
find,
humans.
I had several people na dire, no? One of them, Attorney Lyndon Canya, and he said, ang ginaistoryahan when you say battle royale is how much would the voter get? Isn't that sad nga ang battle royale sometimes is being equated to how much I would get?
I don't know. May mga tao nga ang standard nila for calling a situation kwarta. So kung ang standard sang tao kwarta, kag ang ila pananaw ang duwa ka kumbatan sa politika may mga kwarta, they would call it a battle royale. Pero kung ang standard naman sang tao hindi sa kwarta, kundi sa personalidad, kag kapasidad sang tao sa pag-alagad, kag pag-manage, that could still be also a battle royale in terms of the magnitude and the challenge of influencing people by way of your reason, of your argumentation, by way of your platform, hindi na yung kwarta. So that could still also be a battle royale. A battle royale between, on the issue of credibility. Kung sino ni sa duwa ka tao ang mas credible, kag mas bakalable in terms of votes. In terms of votes, sila na yung mabakal sa kandidato, di ba?
Indeed.
Baklo na sila sa butante, hindi kaya ang kandidato mabakal sa butante. Lain naman lang istorya yan, nga battle royale, kay mapili ang tao kung sinong buton base sa batunon nila nga kwarta. To me, that's a wicked scenario of a battle royale.
Pero what have you observed sa political tempers ng Bacolenyo since 1988? Isa ka sa mga post-EDSA nga officials eh. What has
Sang
changed?
primero, Jules, no, nami gidya ang electoral process sa Bacolod. You know, I will tell you this, believe it or not. In my first run, 1987 to nga kampanyahan I spent only 20,000 pesos. I won number 6. In my second run, 1992 election, I spent only 50,000 pesos. I won number 1. In my third run, I spent another 50,000 pesos lang. I also ranked number 1. After that, siling sa mga kandidato, kabudlay na gid subong. Magdalagan. Subong, magdalagan ko ng mga konsihales. Subong, magdalagan konsihales. Mamangkutabi sila kung pilang mga milyon ang gasto nila nagligad ng election.
Well, we've been doing our research and from what I've been told, you would need a minimum of 1.5.
Di, councilor pa lang na.
Councilor.
Ano pagid kung vice mayor ka, kag mayor.
San o
Kabudlay kay kung kaisa may mga tao nga they believe nga hindi sila kadaog by their own merits nga ibada kita sa tao. Kundi madaog lang sila kung magasto sila tudo.
sa diin nga point nagbalik, nagbaskog uli ang money politics.
Sa diin nga point
Nagbaskog uli.
bago,
Oh, ang money politics.
although may kwarta man sa una nga ginagamit actually Jules, no? Pero hindi gidya pareho sa mga Dahil sa mga election nga natabo siguro so good mga, let me see, 6 years, 10 years ago, or 8 years ago.
Daw dira nag-igting.
Elections, 4 elections ago, doon mga amo na.
I remember Oso Villanueva ang una eh. He was then reputed to be, you know, damo kwarta.
Si Oka, wala man to kwarta.
Si Oka, wala man kwarta. And then there was
Pero, suportado sa may mga kwarta.
may mga kwarta.
Danding Guango was behind him. Ni Montelibano was
Montelibano.
behind him. Roming Guanzon was behind him.
And then there was the age of independence, which I
Yeah,
think has
so-
long gone. You had Lyndon Canya, Josel Batapa, sino pa sa unang dagan independent? Anne-Marie Palermo? Or
Anne-Marie.
Celia Flor.
Oh.
And then there was Chick Garcia. Independence ni, pero
Mga
nagdalaog.
kompetent kang mga maalam nga mga tao.
There you go.
Kaling kung kay Sati, ako, for example, I ran for Congress in 1998. I was pitted against the money of Danding Kuangko. I lost by a margin of 257 votes only. And I had no money, although I was supported by people who had money, pero pilagid man. I did not hold any money every election. When I ran for Congress again in 2007, pitted against Monico, I did not hold any money. I lost by a margin of 1,021 votes. Although I was supported by people nga may kwarta man. Pero hindi ko ang nagakuman sang kwarta. Diba? And then my third run for Congress, piriblit nga kwarta. Alin to sa Malacanang kung wherever it came, I don't know. Grabe.
Gaanaw, ha?
Although damo kami itong nga kandidato. Malain magintani kung one-on-one eh. In fact, sa naging kontrohanay kami ni New York sa 2007, I was wishing it would be a one-on-one competition or contest. Nag-intra si Hagad.
Si Andy.
Siyang nag-tilt sang balance against me. I believe I could have won it kung naging one-on-one lang.
Pero let's talk about governance. Ang call subong is for change. What do you think about that? Wala pagbag-o nga natabo sa syudad.
Pag change, what kind of change? What kind of change are you talking about in the city? What change? We have changed the city for the better several times over. We began our budget when I started, mga 500,000. Pila lang ka million, rather. Then, when Mayor Bing became mayor, we somehow spiraled to about 1 billion. Then, last term, 2 billion, 2 billion 5. And now we have about 2 billion 5 at the same time. We have constructed many edifices in the city. We have built roads. We have opened businesses. You see how many mega malls have mushroomed in the city. The major key economic players in our country are here in the city of Bacolod. If they have not considered it a favorable place for business investment, they would have not come. That is a change that was never yet in the city. What else could be a better change than that? We were adjudged the top model city all over the Philippines, the most business-friendly city outside Metro Manila. Lugar nga maayo iritirahan sa mga pumuluyo. Child-friendly city. Many other awards. Ano pa gid? In fact, believe katama si President Duterte sa Bacolod that the only mayoralty candidate that he campaigned for during the last election was Mayor Bing Leonardia. Ano nga change ang luyag mo diri sa Bacolod? Kahapos na magambal sang change. But if you cannot mention a single particular definitive change that you want to effect in the city, then stop talking about change. Diba? What kind of change? I just keep on talking about change and change and change just because it is an election propaganda. The thing there is they just want to change Mayor Bing. Not change Bacolod, you see? That's the point.
Change Mayor Bing.
So that's the change that they are talking about. Because many people in the city have always wanted to change Mayor Bing. And always they failed, di ba?
Although, for now, wala pa nag-crystallize kinang issues because what I find strange nowadays is, di ba sa una, ang duway ka kandidato, tudloanay na issue at tubangay mo, magabalo, ikaw kawatan ka. Subong lain ara sa Facebook ang issue.
Sa Facebook.
And you won't identify sino nagambal sini.
So, that's why hindi ko malaluyang na Diyos sa mga Facebook mo. That's why ako nag-Facebook. Somebody opened a Facebook for me, but I don't know how to operate that. Kaya nga, doon nabastos, honestly, with all due respect, nabastusan git ko ya sa mga nagaguluwa sa mga Facebook, na wala ka na respetasyon sa isig kapareho mo. All of us are sinners alike. Atakyon mong isa, with the same issue nga ginatake mo na sa isa, balik man agyapon sa imo. Nobody is as pure and as clean as we must be. That's why everybody should be respectful of everybody. Do not use the blessing of Facebook and communication nga tani mangin avenue. It became a transit for illicit conversation and messages that hurt rather than build. That ruin rather than edify. So dapat, kung may issue ka against particular person, say it frankly. Kung harap mo sa stage, say it. Nga sagi ka pa, di mo ya ka pa gwapo-gwapo, pag-gwapo-gwapa, then all of a sudden, may traidor ka, kag-sagi ka, mo ya ka pa. Di ba?
So, nakadumdum ko, Montelibano and Villamor, at tubangay ang mag-akusanay mo.
Junior Montelibano, si Roming Guanzon.
At tubangay.
Tubangay, prangkanay na yan.
Kamu sang una sa konseho. Kami nga reporter, kung nanuras ka matapos, harap man kami na.
Bati ka kay Roming una paglambada sa entablado. Terrific ka tao mo.
Ang kululbaan ng to sesyon niya sa una, si Sincho Lucasan. Kay mga lukos, kaya mo.
Matindog na sa... Yan ka mo pa English mo di. Ayaw namin English. Sabi, ay, post na pinagtanan ito, Sinso. Alang-alang mo ba nawayo ng imong lulo mo na.
Those were the days, no? But then, how should our voters assess what should be our attitude sa piyak sining excitement nga nagkakatabo?
So I think we should really be genuine issues-oriented. Damo ng mga issues nga mga fabricated.
But do you think may valid issues man nga ginaraise? May valid issues man nga ginaraise against Mayor Bing?
I haven't heard any yet. That's why I am encouraging valid issues because that will be more edifying to the city, more educational to our people who will be voting. Sila niya ang mabusisi dapat, kag sila niya ang makilatis ang aton kandidato, kag sila ni mo hukom. Pero kung ihabuyan naton sa mga invalido ng mga issues, binastos ang sugilanon and so forth, kinapakita mo lang we don't deserve better government than we have kung mo lang man ang aton standard for votation or change. Hilinganin ni Rizal, like people, like government. Tal pueblo, tal gobierno. Diba?
On that note, Councilor Renecito Novero, pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. God bless you.